my God. That is hot. I don't want the internet to bully me anymore. I just want a wide receiver. And he's going to run it deep out of the end zone here. And he breaks free. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. The collusion is real.
Jimmy just stepped out. He stepped up back in the end zone. And he threw a pick. Oh my God.
He still messed it up.
Oh, we still here.
It's caught! It's a touchdown! Card!
Please not Jefferson Valley.
No! Yes! There's cars everywhere! It is so bright.
We raised $101,000.
We have hit 400K! Touchdown! Jordan Love and Christian Watson! Aaron Rodgers has just announced that he is going to the New York Jets.
It's frackin' time.
Grossi Posse Packers! Nation, welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. The 2023 NFL Draft has come to a close. Grossi, oh my gosh, that was 3 days. That was 3 days. John Firethage Swift Roseman is when Thanos got the last Infinity Stone from Infinity War. He got all the Bulldogs players. Always. We did it. We survived. And good God. 13 picks, Goody. 13! 13! This is insane. It's absolutely insane. A wild day 3. A busy day 3. Especially that 7th round. And we had, good God, we had 9 picks today. We had 9! But it's in the books, folks. It's in the books. Just wanted to do a quick recap. Kind of just go through a little bit. Won't be on terribly long. I have to eat food. I think I've had what I have today? I think I had a bagel and an apple, so eventually gonna eat. I'm gonna take so many vitamins today. But Packers... It's a different kind of draft. I'm really excited because it's gonna be something so different. It's gonna be so different. So I'm super pumped about it. Patrick Fire, Steelers and Eagles fan. I'm so happy this draft. Steelers, I think, absolutely crushed this draft. Eagles crushed. I think the Raiders low-key had a really, really good draft as well. I like the guys that the Raiders got. So there was a couple of Bears. I think they had a nice draft too. I think that there's a bunch of teams that had some really, really nice picks. I mean, Texans obviously starting off, coming right out of the gate, just swinging, getting their second and third pick is crazy. But yeah, Clifford, that one is probably the pick I like the least from the Green Bay Packers. He was probably going to be around later. We needed to definitely get a backup QB. I think we got really good value later. So if you just swapped those picks, it would have been fine. Like, for example, I like Anthony Johnson, but Carl Brooks is probably one of my probably from like today. Carl Brooks is right up there as one of my favorite picks from the Packers. Really, really excited about that. So yeah, it's good. Austin with a tenor. What's the team saying about Jordan Love? Where's their confidence at? I mean, they literally just surrounded him with a ton of talent. And I talked about this last night because I did a video breaking down who the Packers drafted yesterday with 2 tight ends, wide receiver. They went all offense. The Packers drafted 6 offensive players in total out of 13, so basically half their draft. And what was really interesting to see is just how Matt LaFleur's fingerprints are all over this thing, because I feel like they have surrounded Jordan Love with a bunch of talent, but they've surrounded him with the kind of talent that he could just decide what he wants to do with the ball. Short underneath routes to a guy like Banks, or I'm sorry, not Banks, to Christian Watson. Good God. Like you could go long Christian Watson, dump it off to a tight end. You have 2 running backs, a bruiser, and also Aaron Jones, who could catch too, who's more elusive. I mean, there's just so many possibilities with this offense. And for a young QB, he could turn around, target whoever he wants, and somebody's going to be open. That's the best thing that you could have done. They didn't draft offensive line, which was a little bit shocking to me, but they must believe in the core guys that they have. And so you have Dave Bakhtiari still there. If that offensive line is steady, we are going to get a really good look. And that's all we need, a good look on what kind of QB Jordan Love is and kind of see what his development is. Thomas with a 5er. Dolphins fastest team in the league. So who do we draft? More speed? What about the O-line? Oh, last 7th pick. Yeah. Damn, what a terror drafts like Christmas in April for the NFL world. Happy with all the cool presents my Hawks got. Just got to wait till August to start playing with them, though. Packers did all right, I think. 10 out of 10. I like their draft. C. Delaney with a 50! Boop! For the kitty saying, hey, Tom, always good to catch a live stream in the Navy and stations. And ooh. Always hard to catch anything sports, but happy to be here. Go Pack Go. C. Delaney, you stay safe, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you. Hope all's well. Stay safe, my friend. But military 50 for the win. But yeah, it is it's just I'm really interested because, like, for example, like you look at these, like Jaden Reed, like that is such an outlier. And I know, like, unless you're a Packers fan, it's gonna be tough. Goody legitimately like drafts one kind of receiver. It's like these guys, they have these like certain athleticism. The RAS score is usually this. They have a certain type of build. And now it's like, hey, let's go for a guy who's 5'11". RAS score is not, it's not where it usually is. Because what was his RAS? He was a 4.45. I forgot what his RAS score, but like usually not that kind of guy. It's really interesting. So, Angel, can't believe I'm saying this about a less need draft, but I like all the players who drafted when we picked them. There you go. Craig, I was thinking about doing that. I appreciate you. Thank you for gifting a membership. Like, just recapping the 2020 draft. But there's really, I can't really do it because the biggest elephant in the room is Jordan Love. So, I don't know how you do it. Like, A.J. Dillon, we could talk about that. Josiah DeGuara, we just haven't seen a lot of him. So it just seems like a big question mark for now. I was just going to do it next year to be completely... A 6.74, thank you. I knew it was in the 6s. Caleb with a 5er. MLF just had a press conference said expectations for J-Lo are exceptionally high since he's the guy now, but a lot of sound bites from the conference. Yeah, I saw some stuff that they were talking about on Twitter. I think, again, he's the guy, and I think the Packers have set him up nicely to succeed and really are going to be able to see, hey, let's watch you develop. Let's legitimately look at you and say, are you our guy? Because we've surrounded you with a ton of options. Grundled with a tour. I am over the moon of Dubose. Yeah, guys, a tank. Dubose. Did you see some of those picks? Oh my, these catches, they were amazing. They were really good. RJ Tour, Howie's a magician. He is. Kaylee, Titans looking scary. Oh, those wideouts are surrounded by Mayo Man with A.J. Brown and Robert Woods. Mayo Man. Oh, the Mayo Man. But yeah, it's it's gonna be interesting. Panthers, I think they had a solid draft. As long as, Bryce Young hits, they're not really gonna care. But then they also got Mingo too, who I think is a good pick for them. Eagles, they traded a 4th round pick in 2025 for Swift and a 7th rounder. I think it was this year. So yeah. No, it was just a different kind of draft. I love the Carl Brooks pick. They kind of shored up that defensive line a little bit more. Got a kicker. I'm not like, he's Daniel Carson's younger brother, so I'm hoping he could develop. I believe in Rich Bisaccia, but extra points, he's good. He's only missed 3 over his 5-year career, but his field goal percentage was really, really good in 2020, I think it was. Yeah, 2020 he had a 90.9% field goal rate, but yeah, then it dropped to 66.7 and 70.6. So that's a little concerning. But yeah, I mean, the Colby Wooden one, going the Auburn DL. Sean Clifford's the one I don't like. But if they got him later, I would have been fine with it. Dontavion Wicks, that could be really fun. That could be really, really fun if he develops. Bob, would Fire go work for the draft time? Do you think with all these weapons for Love, is there a scenario where they don't pick up his 5th-year option? No, definitely not. Well, they have to make the decision before the draft anyway. Not before the draft. Before the year starts, they have to do it within the next couple months. So, yeah, no, they're definitely picking up his 5th-year option because they have to do it after his 3rd year, which just happened. So, yeah, no, it's definitely happened. Echo to Fire, very excited for the Rams' future. Love the Stenson Bennett pick. There you go. Get the Bennett. Get the Bennett. But, yeah, Bengals. Yep. They had a pretty nice draft too. Again, Eagles, of course, made a lot of like the splashy moves and splashy picks. They got pretty much everybody from Georgia ever. So, Rocky to Fire, seeing the clip of the TD, saying punch out by Johnson Jr. Yes, late round pick, but I feel much better about safety after the pick. I don't feel much better, but I will say I'm happy that they at least picked somebody. Now, at the same time, we're so depleted at safety in terms of starters. We have 6 of them on the roster, now 7, but there's just starting guys. It's Darnell Savage right now. So bringing him in, he's going to be able to compete immediately. He's a versatile guy, spent a bunch of years as a corner, had 10 passes defended in 1 season. Yeah, he'd be pretty good. But we'll see. Austin with they fire. Thought for a safety, good to forgot about the safety. It was an actual football position. Barrow at Tour, is it Philly Bulldogs or Georgia Eagles now? I think it's Philly Bulldogs. Gail at Tour, Sean Clifford was in the same high school class as Aaron. Joe at Fire, the Eagles draft this year really gets a new meaning to hungry dogs run faster. You're not wrong. You are not wrong at all. So, Caleb with Tour, we just signed an undrafted free agent safety. Not shocked there. All right, who do we get? Let's see if I know him. Let's see. I looked at a bunch of safeties. Hold on, where is it? Where the heck is it? Hold on. Did the Packers, officially announce it? I saw they got defensive lineman Jason Lawan. They got him. Yes, so at 27, Lions won the draft cheers, Tom. Blake Whittor, Texas Chargers University. Yes. Who else did they get? That's Ravens. That's Texans. I saw a D lineman. I didn't see a safety, though. I didn't see that one. What was the guy's name that we just got? I'm curious. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got Packers offensive tackle, Kadeem Telfort. There's that. There. Let's see. Packers, UDFA. Let's see if I can find something. They signed Ole Miss Malik Heath. Okay, so there you go there. Yeah, Jason Lawan, I got that. Florida State tight end Cameron McDonald, so they got another tight end. Thomas Fire, like you, Tom, if Washington gets inducted to Hall of Fame, we both get to slap the owners. Hope we were wrong. Dude, he fell down so far. It's crazy. Oh, there we go. Benny Sapp the third. Going there. Okay. Benny Sapp the third. So there it is. Bees with a tour. Do you think we wind up bringing Amos back? So here's the thing. They addressed the line. Their first pick was an edge rusher. They might just be like, listen, it wasn't a good safety class, so we didn't go out and spend, a lot of draft capital or high draft capital on a safety. They might just say, you know what, let's go with these really young guys because we have good corners. We should have a better, pass rush, which would make the secondary look better. They might just swallow their medicine and do that. I mean, there's definitely a chance they could bring him back, but because he hasn't signed anywhere yet. JMB with they fire. So Falcons and Georgia fans, Eagles converts. Our social media page has been blowing up with new Eagles fans. Give Howie a statue. Oh, he gets a statue. But Amos had a really bad year with us last year, too. So I imagine it's just like, hey, we built up the defense, which, by the way, Aaron Nagler, he retweeted this, but Joe Barry, this is it. We now have invested so much into that defense. If Joe Barry cannot make that unit elite, and I mean top 10, then he needs to go. And if he doesn't, then we really need to start looking at decision making and go what are we missing here? Because it's just not acceptable anymore. And I'm holding out hope because you saw, there was that little stretch last year where the defense played really well. They were getting a ton of turnovers. Of course, Rashawn Gary, they were having a lot of pressures, and then he got hurt and that completely fell off. They address that. Hopefully Rashawn Gary comes back within like a month or two, of the season starting, and you rock and roll. But all I'm saying, it's just like you're on the clock, and it's not a good clock. And hopefully, you can turn that unit around, because they need to, because it's not acceptable. Because I know that expectations are pretty low for the Green Bay Packers this year. So if they don't make the playoffs, people would understand, right? There's like, it's a young QB. We'll see. I think there's a lot of talent on the team, but that's no excuse for the defense should be the standout this year. I'm really excited about the offense and what they could do. I think that there's a ton of possibilities because of this draft, but the defense should have been good, and it hasn't been, not consistently. And so if it's not going to be great this year, then we need to start looking as to why. Bryce Whittour, what do you think of going Reed over Josh Downs? Downs, I heard there's like character issues. That's what people were talking about last night, but I didn't think they would draft either of them. But Reed, I'm excited about the possibility of him. Phoenix Whittier, Eagles, Bulldogs dominated the draft. Even got DeAndre Swift. Dude, Swift, if he can stay healthy, it's going to be dumb. It's just going to be so dumb. Oh, God. The Eagles, yeah. I mean, they should be by far favorites to win the NFC again. Kale, would fire situation or scenario where we trade for Buddha? MLF said we'll wait and see how we address the safety position. Is there? Sure. Will it? Probably not, because he wants to be paid the highest paid safety, and I just don't think the Packers are going to give that to him. But crazier things have happened. On culture, too, I think a lot of these kids got that dog, and I agree. Completely agree. Like, again, Carl Banks, I said that on the breakdown. Like, he works. He has a high motor. I'm super excited about it. Wooden, he's a nice player. I like that, too. Dontavion Wicks has some really nice contested catches. He also has that speed, too. Yeah, these tight ends are going to be fun, also. I'm really, really excited about that. Michael Turk, maybe, potentially. But, yeah, no, Joe Barry needs to figure it out, like, real quick. Real quick. Seahawks, I like their draft, too. Seahawks had a solid draft. They draft running backs in the second. Of course they do. But they had a solid draft, and good God, man. They kept bringing it up on the broadcast, even though I had it muted for a good chunk of the time. But that Russell Wilson trade has yielded so many good players. And the Seahawks usually, draft really well pretty consistently. So it's no shock that they did well this year, too. Alpha Mature, thoughts on the Cardinals draft? I have to be very honest with you. Hold on, let's see. I didn't pay too much attention to them on today. Hold on, let's see. Okay, let's see. Main character, Mature. How did the Falcons draft? I stopped after round 2. All right, we'll take a look at both. Fight out Tour, watch out for Andy Johnson Jr., sleeper to start. Again, he's got all the potential in the world to start, because we don't got many starters here. All right, you know what? Let me just see if it's on Twitter to make my life easier. There's like a nice little graphic or something. Arizona Cardinals, let's see. 6th pick, our guys. Yeah, Paris Johnson Jr., I love that. I love the fact that they were able to move down, move back up, and they got a first. They are stacked for next year. Ojulari, I like that. Okay, Michael Wilson, he should be pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty solid. It's pretty, again, Paris Johnson Jr. was their big get. BJ Ojulari was good. But next year, they have a lot of options, and I think that that's the important thing. With the new regime, they'll see if they really want to keep Kyler Murray around. For the Falcons, where is your stupid... You on Twitter? You didn't just put out... I saw I got Helms. Damn it. I gotta find their stupid draft class. Evans with tour, Minnesota running back, and KS QB going Lions. There you go. I saw the Minnesota one. All right, so this is Falcons 2023 draft class. Okay, so Bijan, obviously. Bergeron, so they go offensive tackle. I know they already had a good offensive line, but they went depth there. Zach Harrison, they needed to address pass rush because their pass rush has been abysmal. Clark Phillips, they go in the corner. Then they don't have anything. Helms, I looked at Helms a lot from Alabama. He's not going to, again, he's a 7th round pick, and that's where I kind of anticipated him going. But he's not going to tip the scales or anything, but he should be a smart football player, and he's at least solid for that defense. But I imagine you're going to have to go edge again, next year, because unless they dramatically improve. Steve Witz, I appreciate your content, man. Cheers. Thank you, Steve. Calamity Witz, this draft has been a calamity. Also go Eagles. Eagles had themselves a very, very nice draft. Yeah, the Steelers one. Steelers probably one of my favorites. I really like the Raiders draft a lot. Of course, the Eagles are up there as well. They're good. Packers, I'm excited. I'm just very, very excited about the possibilities. Bees of Fire, loving the defense struggle. Is at the end of Goot and Barry. Goot, no. I think Goot has... I don't think Goot's leaving unless they are, like, abysmally bad. And even then, it is going to be tough because the Packers really don't like to move on to, like, from, front office people. So I think it would take them, like, winning one game. And even then, probably Barry's then gone if it's the defense's fault. And then there's going to be some questions. And if they are, like, one of the worst teams in the league, there's going to be questions of, like, okay, is it Jordan Love's fault? Do we give him enough time? Because if you're sitting there and Caleb Williams is around... John at Fiverr saying Eagles just signed Eli Ricks. Fly Eagles, fly Philly Bulldogs. But yeah, LaFleur would go before Goody, but I think LaFleur's job is safe even if they win one game. I think Goot's job is safe even if they win one game. But yeah, there's a lot riding on the Jordan Love pick. So, a lot of it's going to be tied to Goody's legacy. And they are likely going to have an additional first-round pick. Could be a later first-round pick next year, but they'll have some decisions to make. I really think that this team is going to be like an above-average football team with a decently high ceiling. I just think there's a lot of youth on this team. Like, just having Mason Crosby and Mercedes Lewis not re-signing because they're likely not going to, already is going to bring the average down. But we have a young core. We have a young QB. All of our wide receivers are super duper young. We have a young core, and there's going to be growing pains with that. But, the defense should be... The defense last year, we thought that there's going to be a weird, like, transition year last year because Devontae Adams left, MVS left, and we're like, okay, it might take a while for the offense to get their footing, but the defense is going to be able to cover for them, and they just never did. So, yeah. ZH Red 10, I might be the only one, but this draft kind of tells Jordan Love, get your feet wet this year, make mistakes and learn. Then next year we push. It feels like we are giving him training wheels this year. I think you're just giving him safety blankets. You're giving him safety blankets. He has the running backs already. Aaron Jones comes back. Thank God, took a pay cut, but Aaron Jones comes back. You have two running backs that you can rely on. You have a good offensive line, and now you have bulky tight ends. You have three of them technically because you still have Josiah DeGuara. They should be able to run the ball efficiently, which hopefully they actually give the ball to Aaron Jones. And on top of that, you have big targets. You have all these tight ends. You have Christian Watson. You have Romeo Dobbs. You have speedy guys that you can put in the slot. So it's exciting. Eli Witt, Fitty! Boop! For that kitty. Your dedication to this is amazing. Great draft coverage. Thank you. Look forward to seeing these players develop for the Packers over the next 2 years. Let's see what LaFleur can do with a lot of chess pieces. Let's freaking go, Pack, go! Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. No, I'm legitimately excited. It was a different draft, and what's fun too is, like, this is why I love the draft, because last year I crushed. I got 5 of the selections that the Green Bay Packers picked, which is difficult to do. This year, I sucked. I think I also sucked just because I started really, really late because of the whole Aaron Rodgers debacle. But yeah, I mean, that's the unpredictability of draft. They got guys that I never thought that they would get. I never thought that they would get a Jaden Reed, and they did. So, you know what? It keeps you on your toes and makes you want to get better. Ranger at 20 is a Kentucky and Packer fan. I think you're going to love Valentine. He's a baller with the physical attributes and attitude to make it in the league. I'll have a New Jersey to go with after Cobb. That's what every Kentucky fan is telling me. As soon as they got picked, my mentions were filled with Valentine is that guy. And I was able to look at some of his stuff, and yeah, it's I'm excited. I mean, the guy he's got the potential. He's physical. I liked it. I like it. He has a 9.3 RAS. Yeah, I'm excited. Definitely excited. KK with a fire dumb question says Green Bay is in the exact same record they had the past season. Good season, bad season, mid-season thoughts. KK, it's a great question. I think the important thing is, why were we mid? Like, did we go like 8 and 9? Why are we average? Is it because of the defense? Like, was the defense elite and the offense just didn't catch up? I think that is what is almost expected. But at the same time, if the defense doesn't do well this year, then that is so frustrating, and Joe Barry needs to get fired. And then we need to figure out and be like, okay, who's not working here? Because this has been such an ongoing occurrence that we're just not getting better. One, after a lot of investment. And two, if it's the offense, I think they're still going to give Jordan Love another year. Again, unless they're catastrophically, like they're really, really bad. If Jordan Love is just like, holy God, he's got like, 26 interceptions and 10 touchdowns, I don't think they're going to move on from him. I think they're going to give him the full 2 years, and then we'll take it from there. Robbie, if I was there anyone you see the Packers take as undrafted free agent, honestly, all the guys on my board are gone. So it's a complete mystery to me. So, Big, what if I was opinion on the Cowboys draft? Let's take a look at there. Yes, I think it's different on culture. I definitely agree. 4, Moitura sends Bennett, future of the Rams. Well, he's almost going to the nursing home, so you don't have that much of a future. But yeah, I get you. You just gotta hurry it up. You just gotta hurry it up. All right, let me take a look at the Cowboys draft class. 2023 Cowboys draft class. Okay, let's see. All right, here we go. Mazi Smith, that's a good pick. I like that pick a lot. Let's go. Okay, they go with Luke in the second round. Yep. Okay, good. I like that. Overshown, I just don't know a lot about, to be completely honest with you. But it looks like they built up the line. I think they needed to do that. I know they addressed some of the line late, but yeah, then they got some skill players at the end. Deuce Vaughn, Jalen Brooks. I think it's solid. I think it addresses a bunch of needs. So I think it's solid. Parker, too, who won the draft? Again, draft grades are dumb. They don't make any sense because we're not going to know for like 3 years. But the drafts that I like the most, I really like the Steelers draft. I really like the Eagles draft. That one is really good. But I know the Eagles draft. Yeah, no, the Eagles had a really, really nice draft just based off of like consensus and big boards. Robbie, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, Eagles had a great draft. I mean, just their first round alone is just the potential is insane. And I think that like we also need to make sure we understand this. So like take, for example, the kicker that we got, right? The fans did win the draft, Eli. It's true. Look at the kicker that we got. Extra point, good. Field goal, not really that great. Can't really kick from 50 plus. Really struggled. Hasn't made a single one since 2021. Went 0 for 4. Really struggling with that. If Rich Bisaccia can develop him, great. The potential is there. You draft guys for potential. Of course, what they did in college matters, but at the same time, you'd be the greatest tight end, QB, all these different positions, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be tough to transition from collegiate play to the pros. So it's all about ceilings. Oh, that player has, you're on day 3, has all the athletic traits that I'm looking for. They could have a really high ceiling. They have potential. That's what you're drafting for, right? You're saying this guy could be really good in the future because they could be really, really dominant in college, but that don't mean diddly squat when it comes to the NFL because we have seen some really good dominant college players and them completely whiff in the pros. So it happens. X-Frozen, what at 20? Do you think we'll go with Sean Off? Love is really bad? No. I mean, again, has to be catastrophically bad for us to roll with Sean. I don't see it. So, I mean, I'm going to be curious to see if Sean's going to even win the QB2 job. Inject Fire, I think we had an amazing draft. And I don't care if we pass on Nolan Smith. He played at 3-4 college. We run a 4-3. Hype for Kendra Miller looks there. That's all that matters. Inject. Ladies with a tour, thoughts on Detroit's draft. Detroit, interesting draft. And I was talking about this. I meant to put this on Twitter, but I couldn't fit it on Twitter because I refuse to pay for Twitter Blue. But Detroit, they got a lot of crap. They drafted Gibbs because, one, they obviously were moving on from DeAndre Swift, playing with a lot of injuries, had a lot of potential, but just like never really lived up to it in Detroit. They got a 4th rounder in 2 years for it. I think that a lot of Lions fans will be happy with that. But they knew that Swift was out the door. They saw Gibbs and said, hey, here's a good rusher who also is a great pass catcher. We're going to draft him. I don't care about big boards. I don't care about consensus. We have a specific role for this one player. We're going to go out and we're going to get him. Because they just got Dave Montgomery, right? Dave Montgomery's a good running back. But they're going to go get Gibbs. They have a specific long-term role for him, so they drafted him for that role. That's how the Packers kind of approach their day 2. And that's what I really like about it, because they go, you know what? We are going to run these tight end sets. We want to make sure that Jordan Love has safety blankets to target and throw to. So we're going to go out. We're going to get these pass catchers. We're going to get a speedy guy. So, for example, talk about Jalen Reed, right? Like this speedy guy. Oh, sorry, excuse me, Jaden Reed, who can like just take off running, put him in the slot. We didn't really have a slot guy because Cobb is gone, and people are like, oh, you overreached, what have you. But if he fits that role and he plays well, it really doesn't matter what round you take him in, right? Because at the end of the day, as long as you hit on the guy, unless it's a bust, as long as you hit on the guy and he does what you want him to do and he develops in a way you think he's going to, then it's a win. So I think the Lions, yeah, they did some unorthodox things, but at the end of the day, if Gibbs turns out to be who they want him to be, you're not going to care where you took him. Parker, with a tour, thoughts on Musgrave after Washington fell so much? Yeah, after Washington fell so much, I feel better about it. Musgrave's also a different kind of tight end, too. He's more of the pass catcher. Darnell Washington, more of the blocker. Chris with a tour story on Shannon Sullivan. Steelers signed him. Former Packer, then was a... I liked him when he was on the Packers, but never really amounted to a ton, and then went to the Vikings, and then didn't really work out there, so... I don't know, Cobb's working out on his Instagram story, so maybe a team picks him up, I mean, for a team-friendly deal. I also wouldn't mind if they got Cobb back. I just don't know if he would come back. He loves Green Bay, but we do need a veteran presence in there. It's very, very young right now. And even in terms of just for like the locker room, and Randall Cobb is that kind of guy, there's the wide receiver free agent market is not great right now. Like Julio Jones still out there. This might be a hot take. I wouldn't mind the Packers bring him in for a year. Give him a vet min deal. Why don't you bring Kenny Golladay in? Kenny Golladay went from lighting it up with the Lions and then just with the Giants. Kick the tires. Kick the tire if he's super cheap. Kick it because he hasn't been signed, so nobody's like, oh man, let me go and grab him. Just kick the tires. Kick the tires. Why not? Why not? But I'm assuming they might get somebody in there. John, they fired. DeBose could be the steal of the draft. P.S. How can we draft Lovie Smith as defensive coordinator? Well, listen, I think the Bears are going to be busy making a statue of him. So, Daniel Turner, Antonio Brown to Green Bay. Not on my life. John Turner, how'd you rate the Commanders draft? Let's see. Julio, I think he's just too injury prone. All right, let's see. Let us see. Commanders draft class. I didn't like Forbes in the beginning. I wasn't a huge fan of that, to be honest. I thought there was just better guys. Again, this is just coming from me, but I didn't like that. Jartavius Martin, I love that pick. Corner who could transition to safety. I like him a lot. I think he was probably like the second best potential safety in the draft. I looked at him a lot. So Ricky Stromberg addressing the offensive line they needed to. They do the same thing with their 4th round pick, Brain Daniels. Yeah, it seems like they went a good amount for need here. They addressed just like secondary and offensive line and then just guys later. I don't think it's like super flashy, but if a couple of these guys work out, you'll be happy. You'll be content. Parker Tour Instagram needs to verify you. I don't really care. It's a check mark. It's whatever. Smoke Break went at 20. Low-key, Saints had one of the best drafts. Got the most underrated QB. Fit every position in need and stacked their team up. There you go. Well, there you go. Brian Branch was the top safety. Again, it was a crappy safety class. It was a really, really crappy class, but yeah. Zeke would tell how's Grandpa Cardinal feel about the draft class. Well, thankfully he's dead, so in case it doesn't work out, you're not going to have to worry about it. So, but yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited if you're a Cardinals fan, not for this season, but considering you might be one of the worst teams in football this year, hold on. I saw it before, Cardinals draft picks. Like, it's insane what they have for next year. Like, they are loaded up. Go on, Holly. All right, so hold on one second. Future draft picks. Okay, 2024. They have their first rounder. They have the Texans' first rounder. They have their second rounder. They have their third rounder, the Texans' third rounder, the Titans' third rounder, and then they have a 4th round pick as well, which is their own. So if they're bad and the Texans and Titans are not great, which they probably are not going to be amazing, yeah, ain't gonna be good. FPS if I see the new Los Angeles Horned Frogs, Chargers drafted 3 TCU players. There you go. Every team taking on an identity. Parker Tour, worst and best record next season predictions. I'll put out videos for that. The way too early predictions. I usually do it after the schedule gets released, so that'll happen in a little bit. But yeah, I'll be doing like draft breakdowns and stuff for each division. Daniel, two of the Cardinals are decent. Bring Bez back as a ghost. I mean, he is in coach. He did make an appearance in coach, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm excited. I'm just excited because there's a lot of potential for this class. Jay, Terrence, like the Rams a while back, said F those picks. The Chiefs said F those draft boards and best available list. Happy with our picks. Did not see a lot of players getting picked where they did. At the end of the day, as long as it works out. Splenda, Van Ness wasn't my top edge rusher at that position. I like Miles Murphy a little bit better, but Van Ness, you can't argue that he's a freak athlete. So if it seems like they're taking the Rashawn Gary route, I said this on draft night, of just developing him, and it might take a couple years. I know they're talking about like, oh, he's gonna like just come in and like start right away. I think that's gonna be a little bit more difficult. That's not how I'm anticipating it, but I'm also not there. So yeah. And apparently Goody just said they're not closing the door on Adrian Amos. So there you go. Same with a fire. It's same Michael Jefferson from Louisiana wasn't drafted. He's a good wide receiver for the car accident. Yeah, it's sad. That's it. Yeah, he did get like that Watt comparison, but we'll see. Sean, a fire. What thoughts on the Colts draft class and how much time do you give Richardson before you move on? Ooh, so Irsay comes out and says that he's definitely going to start this year, and he talked about like how he could have also like if he wasn't there, they would have drafted Will Levis. You guys needed a quarterback, so I think you got one. So you're happy about that. I'm a little concerned that he's going to get thrown into the fire. I think you start Gardner Minshew for as long as humanly possible because, let's just be real, you're likely not going to win the division. And it's a crap division. You can compete, I think, with the Jaguars and like you'll be in the mix and stuff because you're in such a bad division. But I think you just prioritize the development of Anthony Richardson over a winning record this year. I think that's the most important thing. Vehicle on fire. A few kickers drafted this draft in front of Niners, and Jake Moody was big. Yes. Yeah, he was the best one. Flying with a fire. Can we make it so the Cards are the new team asking for a new owner? Dan is bad. At least he buys his team dinner for screwing them. True story. Mister, I for one welcome the new era of the Philadelphia Bulldogs East. Philly just really needed moving the SEC to the NEC. Mm-hmm. Dan, Tour Steelers had the best draft of my life. They had a very nice draft. I really, 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 really like their draft. Bob with a tour. Loki Mingo going to the Panthers is good. Yes, I completely agree. They got a very solid, consistent pass catcher who will go up, big guy. Yes, I looked into him a lot for the Packers. So, and there was like talks about him going later, but don't matter. Panthers got their guy. So, life Seahawks drafted well. You with an 8, Dubois and Valentine steals, Goody goated at picks 4 through 7. Hopefully we get some guys in there. You know, again, if you get a starter on day 3, you know, like your 5th to 7th round, you're rocking and rolling. That's all you could hope for. You're taking flyers on these guys that just have some great traits, and you just hope. And the Packers, they've done pretty well. I mentioned this in one of the videos today, too. Like, they have a pretty good, like a pretty darn good sense of, like, grabbing guys, and they stay on the team for a good amount of time. So, yeah, I like it. I like it. We'll see. We shall see. But again, we don't know. We're not going to know. It's going to be a long, long time before we do know. But yeah, there's a lot of potential, and that's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. So, yeah. Colts I think had a solid draft. Again, it's going to all be on Anthony Richardson to see how well he does. I just hope the Colts take care of him because he is an athletic monster. I think he can be really good. It's just I'm concerned about the current team. Now, if Jonathan Taylor returns to form, because that is a big that's a big if, and I hope he does, then I feel a little bit better because then you have a run game to rely on, and it's not just Anthony Richardson running for his life. So, because the offensive line is just not as good. You know? Chocolate, who's on the draft cut, so I think he's going to make the biggest incorrect. Probably Luke Musgrave. It's probably going to be the tight end. I think you're going to see Lucas Van Ness, you know, maybe later this season start to contribute a lot, but yeah. Uzi with a fire. Try 3 Floyd's Brewing Company when you are down in Indy, Cincy. Awesome IPAs. Thank you for the recommendation. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, Anthony Richardson, again, if he can be developed, we're rocking. That's a big if, and you have to trust the Colts to do so. I think they can. I think they have the coaching staff to do it. I hope they do, because I think he would be really, really fun in this league. So, yeah. Josh Downs, yes, I looked into Josh Downs. It wasn't very long because I was like, there's no way the Packers are taking him. So, but I didn't think they'd take Jaden Reed either. Pop would fire, depending on the Bengals draft. I feel like they got good value but didn't address some needs. I think that Miles Murphy, like, there was Bengals fans that were still pissed about that. And I was like, you got a really good player. Like, he could be really good. And you guys needed help with pass rush anyway. So I understand where you're going with that, but I think they had a really solid draft. Daniel Atura, Bill still in top 3 of the AFC. Yeah, I think so. I think they're floating around there. I'm curious to see how much Kincaid participates this year, like how much production he's going to have, because it is very, very difficult for tight ends to transition from college to the NFL. It's because you're basically learning blocking schemes, which he doesn't do a lot. But unless they just put him out there as a wideout, if they really don't, but like again, usually like you're part of that offensive line, you have blocking schemes. Also, you need to like learn like route trees and all this stuff. So Kincaid is a really good talent. He's a good pass catcher. Like he's a good route runner. He can do all those things really well. It's just a matter of, you usually don't see production from first-year tight ends. Steady, thank you for the tour. I mean, look at Kyle Pitts, right? Like Kyle Pitts, you haven't seen it. He got hurt and all that great stuff. But yeah, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. Now, I will say they didn't take him in the top 10. They got him at the end of the first. So if it takes a little while for him to develop, not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. So we'll see. We'll see. Of course, the Eagles had a great draft. They did. So there's a bunch of guys who fell, and I think it's just a constant reminder, folks, that teams are privy to information that we just do not know, and we're not going to know. So we just got to kind of be like, yep, this is what it is. So we'll see, though. We'll see. What team did the worst? Again, it's so subjective. I like the Kansas City Chiefs draft. I'm a little underwhelmed by the Commanders. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I'm a little underwhelmed. And then you also have guys who like didn't have, teams who didn't have picks for a while too. So, like the Browns. I think the Browns, like, because they got Tillman, right? So like that was pretty good. But yeah. And the Jets, again, I know that they were looking at JSN. Welcome to the club. But I think McDonald, I think, could be a really, really good edge rusher. Especially with that unit too. Put him in as a rotational guy. McDonald is because he was one of the guys I was looking at for the Packers to potentially draft. I think you have a good time with him. So yeah, Browns, I think, with their limited picks, did pretty solid. I really like the Tillman pick. So yeah, it's good. It's gonna be interesting. So JSN is a Seahawk. Great. Gets to learn behind Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, or DJ Metcalf, depending on who you ask. But yeah. No, the Jets, I would say it was surprising. I wouldn't say it was bad, though. Caleb with a fire. Thoughts on Goody saying it's up in the air if they pick up Love's 5th year? Think they give him an extension over the option? That's an interesting one. That'd be risky. Just because, so with the 5th year option, it's guaranteed money. So I think it's like $24 million you're going to have to wind up paying him next year. But I mean, if the Packers, oh man, I kind of don't like that. I have seen Mingo's tape. Yeah, I liked him a lot. I did a whole thing on him. Go check that video out with Packers wide receiver prospects. If the Packers don't, and they just go, nope, we're not going to pick up your 5th year option. This is your contract year and your first year as a starter. I don't know if that exudes a lot of confidence. I don't know how I'd feel about that. It'd be risky. Bob with a fire. Tom, things do not work out with Love and the Packers picking within top 10 with the conditional from the Jets. Do we draft QB? If he's catastrophically bad, yes. I think he has to get that bad, though. He has to get that bad. Ufio with a fire. Bears did great. I like how Ryan Poles just watched Cocaine Bear. Was like, I have a plan. There you go. Darnell Washington falling. Yeah, I think if he stays healthy, that was the big concern. If he stays healthy, the Steelers are going to get a stud. So Yeah. But I don't, oh, that's a great question. You just go for the extension. Just like, here's your prove it deal. Like, there you go. Your prove it year. Go out, see what you could do. Yeah, I don't know if I like that method. I don't know if I like that one. Yeah, that one's tough. But you never know. Yeah, they could get him cheaper for extending, but what do you sign him to? Do you sign him to a 3-year deal? Because I don't think they're going to do anything less than that. You just do a 3-year deal and try to save from the guaranteed money? I don't know, man. Football, Tanner, as a Bucs fan, I think we had a solid draft. I'm glad we passed on Will Levis because I would much rather suck this year and potentially get our franchise QB next year. I think that's the right play, too. Ambassador Fiver saying, I haven't been watching the draft where the Raiders made bad picks. No, I actually like the Raiders draft. I think it was actually a very solid draft. Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer. No, I like their draft a lot, actually. So, be good. I think it has the potential to be very, very solid. Build a team around Jimmy. And take it from there. Because, again, there's a bunch of teams that are going to be in limbo this year. Like, I know that the Titans drafted Will Levis, which, by the way, I get it, but it's weird. It's really, really weird. And you're just like, okay, yep, go in. They just drafted Malik Willis, who apparently they're still like, yeah, just have them throw all 3 of them out and be like, compete. Go for it. Ryan Tannehill is in a very expensive last year of his contract. He's going to be gone and out of there at the end of this season. And then you have Willis and Levis. Levis is not in the first round, so if Levis even turns out to be the guy, then you're going to be carrying those 2 QBs, and you don't get a 5th-year option. I don't know. It's weird, man. But there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be in this weird limbo, but next year's draft class, especially for QB, should be much better. Sean, Firestairs got shut bow! Mark Carnes' first draft is outstanding. I know results pending. Steelers in the right direction. I do like their draft, yes. Guillermo to Fiverr, do you think we can make a run for a playoff spot? Sure, you just have to not suck in your division. So, like, that division is definitely, you could compete in it. I don't think anyone's going to take it from the Chiefs. But sure, you could. The problem is the AFC, the conference you're in, is insanely competitive. You have the best QBs in the league, besides Jalen Hurts, obviously, like, in that conference. So that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Hi, Rachel. The Hendon Hooker pick. Yeah. It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting pick. I don't hate it like a lot of other people do, and I get why they did it, but it's an interesting pick. So, yeah. If the Packers took JSN, but they didn't take JSN. So, that's a hypothetical. They didn't. That's actually not a hypothetical. They didn't. So, that's what it is. Fields gonna have another great year. Well, he's got some protection now, so I think so. And he also has like a really good wide receiver 1 in DJ Moore. So, yeah. Backup if he never starts. Yeah. Yeah, I know Sean Clifford's older than Jordan Love. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Ufio. If I watch the Titans have the best record next year due to medicinal properties of banana peels and mayo coffee. That's what Aaron Rodgers was talking about when he was just like, holistic medicine. That's what you're going with. So, Rachel and Holly, hope the draft was good. Hope it was good. I don't know. I didn't put you on timeout. What'd you do, Splenda? What'd you do? I don't know what you did. Oh, dumpster fire. We're going to take Darnell Washington and bench him during the Green Bay game just as spite. That's fair. That's fair. Again, if he stays healthy, he'll be good. He was like my draft guy. I really, really wanted Darnell Washington, but, what are you going to do? Andrew to fire. Tom, where were you earlier? I thought you were alive through day 3 too. King Andrew was shocked and disappointed. Better take a shot. Go Posse. Appreciate you, King Andrew. No, I put out 10 videos today. No, I never go live for day 3. I actually usually don't even do this stream. I wanted to just stream afterwards, but no, because it's guys that I don't really know a lot of, and like they announce stuff during commercials. It's just not really fun, to be completely honest with you. And considering that there's 9 picks to do, I'd rather put out the video so I can get to learn the guys, then I can go live and actually talk about them. But yeah, I put out 10 videos today. So I put out 9, and then I did the DeAndre Swift trade. So check all those out. Mower at 20, Lions fan living in KC. What are your thoughts on the Lions pick for safety? Seriously, their picks overall, really enjoy your channel the last couple of days. Thank you, Mower man. I think that they drafted the guys that they wanted. if that makes sense. I think Brian Branch, they got really good value for him. I don't think he's like elite, but he's the best safety in this draft. He's going to help you with run defense too. So, yeah, no. Tom grinded today. Tom, we grounded. We grinded. Slacking, yeah. No, 10 videos. Really was slacking today. Really should pick up the pace. But, yeah. Purple Incarnation of Satan. I had to check out their draft class. I honestly wasn't even paying a lot attention to them. I like Jordan Addison a lot. I do like that pick a lot. Jordan Addison's going to be good. Kai Blackman, solid. They needed to address it. They didn't have a third-round pick. Yeah, going defense, they needed to. I like that. Jaron Hall, taking a flyer on him. It's solid. They addressed the things that they needed to address. Wide receiver wasn't like their number one need, but they went after that and they got defense. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, Lions really screwed the draft. They could have drafted a referee with their first pick, because that's our biggest weakness. You had us in the first half, Tim. Not gonna lie. Joe to fire. How do you look at the Pats draft and think? How you look at the Pats draft? Think of B. You address a lot of holes. Corner, punter, kicker, O-line, center, wide receiver, safety. Boost the defense and offense. I think your defense is going to be really, really good this year. I have zero expectations for your offense, to be completely honest with you. Joe would fire. Thoughts on Bijan? As a Falcons fan, I'm on the fence. I know he's awesome, but I wanted a corner with Terrell or pass rush help. I wanted both those things for you too. I knew that pick was going to be very, very divisive. I think if he is the stud that a lot of people are predicting him to be, it's not going to matter, but that also is going to rely on, is Desmond Ridder the guy? Because you have Algier, you have Cordarrelle Patterson, but like Algier is the guy that really like makes me scratch my head of like, why would you go after Bijan? Because like you said, there's other value that's there. You could have gotten a really, really good pass rusher, or you could have gotten, a top corner. We could have gotten Gonzalez. So I understand it. The thing is, like, you need Drake London, Kyle Pitts, now Bijan, and Ridder to kind of like rise up, because you've spent a bunch of capital, not really on Ridder, but like you spent a bunch of first round capital, and you better hope that like they ball out, because if they don't, and more importantly, if the defense is so bad, like they just they can't get after the quarterback, their pass rush continues to be bad, I think a lot of people are going to be wondering, what the hell did you do that for? Max with a fire. How do you feel about the Giants draft? I love that we addressed our needs with the best player available. Yeah, no, I think the Giants definitely did. They definitely followed BPA. I like their draft. I think it's really solid. They love with a fire. Do you think the Packers are focusing most on the draft picks on defense right now, so they can focus on offense more in their future? They had 13 picks, and 6 of them were on offense. They had one special team, and then the rest of them were on defense. They literally split it. No, like the majority, they did Lucas Van Ness, who was their early pick, of course, with getting their premium edge rusher with, a lot of high ceiling. But all their day 2 picks, which is where, like, you're going to get a lot of value, all offense. So, no, I think the theme of this draft was, here you go, Joe Barry. Here's another elite pass rusher, because it was garbage after Rashawn Gary left. Also, you're going to get fired if you suck, hopefully. And then it was surround Jordan Love with a ton of talent. No, I think that this was a very, like, allow our QB to take baby steps and hopefully, just play with a sense of ease, because somebody's going to be open, whether it's a big tight end or it's going to be a speedy wide receiver, and he can choose whoever he wants to target. That's what I think the theme of this draft was. Get Jordan Love a whole bunch of weapons. This was the 3rd time now since 2018 that they've drafted 3 wide receivers. They did it in 2018, and then they did it in 2022. They did it last year, and now they did it again this year. So, yeah. That's what I think. A.T. Perry, I know why he fell, but yeah, no, I think you got some good value there. You got some good value. I think he'll be good. But yeah. So yeah, Jordan, I think that they're gonna pick up his 5th-year option. Goody saying maybe not is weird to me. Like, that's super duper weird. I think you're taking a really big risk there, and I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, but I think you just pick it up, you eat it, and if he's catastrophically bad, then you draft another quarterback. I know it's going to hurt your cap, but 2025 is going to be like the real, like, ease with the cap. So, and again, if he balls out this year, he's not even going to get a huge contract because this is his first year as a starter. It's a complicated thing. I think they just pick up his 5th-year option just to say a lot. Nicholas Goot does say a lot of things. It's very, very true. It's very, 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 very true. So I'll be live for like another 6 minutes. I had to eat. I've been working literally all day, and these past 2 weeks have been insane. So any further questions, just get them out now in like these last like 5-ish minutes, just because, and I'm going to go grab some food. And tomorrow I'll have every NFL fan's reaction to the draft, and might be going live Sunday night. We'll see. So, but yeah, I want to pick up Becton's option. I understand why that's more of a hot take, but he just has such a high ceiling, man. He does. Sidney Brown, safety, right? Yeah. Right? He's a safety? Pretty sure I've looked at so many players now, especially today. Right? He's a safety. A top 5 safety in this draft, but the safeties were not really great. So, I mean, but again, you replace CJ Gardner-Johnson, so, or at least get another body back there. Joe, if Five Love sucks and the new guy sucks, I think Baker Mayfield would look good on your team. Give him a real team and a head coach. I think he'd ball out. No, thank you. Hard pass. Vehicle, it's unrelated. No, I just rescued a 2-year-old lab. That's awesome. Thank you, Vehicle. That's an awesome thing. Yeah, Washington is weird. What's for dinner? I think I'm grabbing some pad thai. Which I think has been ready for about like 40 minutes. That's fine. It's fine. Well, record, I think the Packers, I think they're going to be like a 7-10 win team. Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking at the quarterback, and obviously Aaron Rodgers leaving. They're like, oh my God, they're going to be like garbage. I think there's too much talent on the team for them to be like really, really bad. Luke, what's your best site for buying costumes? Asking for a friend. Amazon. Andrew at Fiverr. Love the name Carrington Valentine. Any thoughts on his chance to make the team? Listen, the amount of people hyping him up was significant today. So Kentucky fans apparently love him. So I'm excited to see him. I looked at some of his stuff and I liked what I saw. He had 10 passes defended in 2022. So it could be fun. Random Mature, Washington in the 3rd. Yeah, again, he fell. He could potentially go in at the end of the 1st, definitely in the 2nd, but no. Medical concerns scared a lot of teams away. If he's healthy, he will be in a great blocker. And considering that the Steelers traded up to go get O-line, Darnell Washington is basically another O-lineman. Guy's 6'7" with 11-inch hands. Like, he's basically another one. One more. If I'm feeling good, the Browns are addressing their run defense with some big bodies and getting a big wide receiver that makes contested catches. Yeah, that was Tillman. I like Cedric Tillman a lot. A lot. Ringo, I think, will compete. He'll compete. Christina, shock, chaoticness, frustration, anger, content. I had a grand time with you in the draft picks. They came through. Can't wait for the 30 and 30. Appreciate you, Christina. I'm very excited for it. I just cannot wait to sleep. I am going to sleep tonight. And it's going to be glorious. It's going to be so nice. I can't wait to sleep. I cannot wait to sleep. What city am I most excited to visit? I've actually never been to California, so like LA, like probably be cool. Other cities. 'Cause I've been to Detroit, been to Chicago a bunch of times. I've been to, I think actually never been to Miami. I've been to Jacksonville and I've been to Tampa and Orlando, of course, but city-wise, I've been to Denver. I love Denver. I love Colorado just as a whole. I really, really like that state. No, and I won't live there. He wants me to move there so bad. You know what I'm actually like kind of really excited for? I'm really excited for Atlanta. I'm really, really excited for Atlanta. Like really, really excited. Because I hear the food is amazing. I know KC is like known for like barbecue, but like I'm really excited for Atlanta. I am. So, Sean, tour top 5 beers. My favorite, Allagash White, Duvel is definitely on there. Delirium Tremon's definitely on there. That starts to drop all up, but like Who Garden's good. Dos Equis, I usually get that too. Industrial Arts Brewing, I really like them. Their Wrench, Pocket Wrench, Torque Wrench, all that stuff is really, really good. If you're talking about like specific like wheat beers, Belgian beers like that, IPAs. So, yeah. California's, I know California, there's a lot in California. Yes. So, Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm definitely excited. It should be good. I've never been to Vegas. Like, that's the thing too. I really am going to treat this as, I know I'm going to be working literally for a month straight, but Nick Waturi, yes, I will hopefully be meeting up with Tree if he is there. But hey, I literally put out a video on every single pick. I combined the day 2 picks yesterday, but I put out 9 videos today for all 9 prospects, so you can go check those out. I'll be doing a deeper dive in terms of, breaking down like each division. Just fire Tate Thompson before can't find success with love. How many years do you think he gets to find success before he's in the hot seat? 3 to 5. Unless, again, they're catastrophically bad. As I have said, I'm really, really excited to see if Matt LaFleur is a great coach with a different quarterback. Because I think there's definitely some question marks. I think there's some stuff he does really, really well. I think he brought the best out of Aaron Rodgers. He won 2 MVPs with them. But I'm curious to see, like, okay, you are getting the offense that you want. Your fingerprints are all over this draft. Rock and roll. Because he tried it in 2020. Because they were convinced that they were moving on from Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be back-to-back MVP. And then he won. And they're like, well, crap, now we got to kind of keep him. So now we're going to draft with him still on the team. Because in 2020, it's a very different type of draft. You go back and you look at that draft, that is not only a draft for the future, it's a different kind of draft than the Packers usually do. So, just saying. Just saying. But folks, Derek, what's your favorite Packers pick this year? I like the Anthony Johnson Jr. one a lot. Valentine's growing on me. I really, really like Carl Brooks. Probably Musgrave, though. It's probably Luke Musgrave. I'm excited about that pick. So, but folks, I need to go get food and rest. So, I appreciate you. There is 10 videos put out today, including this stream. 3 days of absolute madness. Greatly appreciate you. This was the 2023 NFL Draft. And, yeah, we did it. I appreciate you tuning in for the coverage and the support. We did good. So tomorrow, every NFL fan's reaction to the draft, that will definitely be coming out. And I am going to go grab some pad thai, some wine, some vitamins, and we're going to be vibing. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack, go. Let's go, baby.